Hello everyone, this is Shivam Divakar over here, and I welcome you all to this series wherein we solve CodeChef monthly challenges. And the question that we are going to solve is from this month's challenge, which is June long challenge. So let's head over to the question. And the link to the question is below, below in the description, and my solution also is there in the description. So in case you need the solution, you can get that also. So let's move ahead to the question first. And basically I would not be solving all, but specifically this is for the chef and ice cream problem, because a lot of people have been asking me like how to solve this and how to approach this. So let's solve this particular question. This video contains solution to this chef and ice cream problem. So moving ahead, yeah, so the question is, chef owns an ice cream shop in Chefland named Skulls. There are only three types of coins in Chefland: rupees 5, 10 and 15. An ice cream costs rupees 5. Now there are n people numbered 1 through n standing in a queue to buy the ice cream from him, and each person wants to buy exactly one ice cream. For each valid I, the ith person has one coin with a value ai. It is only possible for someone to buy an ice cream when chef can give them back their change exactly. Okay. And for example, if someone pays with a rupee 10 coin, chef needs to have rupees 5 coin that he gives to this person as the change. Initially, chef has no money. He wants to know if he can sell ice cream to everyone in this queue in the given order. Since he's busy eating his own ice cream, can you tell him if he can serve all these people? Okay, so the thing that we need to take from here is, first thing is, there are only three type of coins in Chefland, which is rupees 5, rupees 10 and rupees 15. So only these three denominations are available to us. And the thing is that there are n number of n people standing in a queue, and these n people are each having a coin ai. Okay, belonging to 5, 10 or 15, and each ice cream cost is 15. So let's say a person comes with a 5 rupee coin to buy an ice cream. He can buy because the cost is 5, so the chef will take that coin. Now if the person comes with a 10 rupee coin, chef has to pay back rupee 5. And if the person comes with a 15 rupee coin, then he has to return back 10, the remaining amount, which is 10, in the form of two 5 coins or one 10 coin. Now these are the only ways which he would be encountering. So we have a limited number of cases over here which we can handle very easily. But first let's check, and let's head on to the solution. Okay, so the first thing is what we would be having in the input. The first line contains t, denoting the number of test cases. Okay, and then this first line of that each test case is containing a single integer n. Then the next line would be containing n space separated integers, which would be denoting the size, the denomination that the person would be bringing. And we need to have a single line containing yes if all people can buy, or no if even one cannot buy. All right, so let's head over to the question, and let's head over to the solution part. So let's go to the solution part. Now since I've solved this problem earlier only, so the solution is here with me, and as you can see, I had solved this on 11th June. So I'll put the link to this question, to this solution, and this would be available in the description as well, so you can check from there also. So let's first discuss how I approach this problem and how I figured out what exactly do we need to do over here. Okay, so here we are. Now if we consider this scenario as a real life scenario, then we would be very then the solution would be very much clear. So let's say I am the shopkeeper, and I have this three boxes, or this three boxes with me. Okay, and instead of the boxes, I would say I have three counters with me in my drawer, and I have n people standing over here, and each time someone comes in, I have these places represent the number of points I have for each. Okay, so let's say let's take the example from the let's take the example only first. So what are the things do we have over here? We have 5, 10, 10, 5 and 5, 15. For 5, 15 it's no. So let's take a much more simple, and then we'll move on to the complex one. So it's 5 and 10 at first. Okay, so the thing is, we have two customers. The first customer is having a 5 rupee coin, and the second customer is having a 10 rupee coin. So now what would happen in this case? and in case I will tell you the answer was yes, so we'll just check. So now the chef has zero amount, every zero of every, zero coins, zero coins, zero coins of each. So now a person comes in. Okay, he is having a 5 rupee coin. So since the cost of the ice cream was 5, will not do anything, and simply the chef is going to accept this coin. Now we'll have 1 5 coin over here. Now moving on to the next customer. Now the next customer brings in a 10 rupee coin. Okay, so now the cost of the ice cream was 5. So we'll deduct that from here. Okay, the first chef, what he will do is first take this 10 coin over here. It will be 1, and now he will be having a remaining amount of 5 to repay. And then now we will see whether we have that 5 rupee coin over here or not. Okay, so yeah, we have a 5 rupee coin over here, and that is 1. So 1 into 5 is 5. We have the denomination which we can return. So now chef will take this coin and give it to the customer. So now we can say yes, these two customers, both of them can get their these two customers can be fed with ice cream, or they can be given ice creams. But what if we have a bit of a more complex scenario? I'm taking a random situation over here. Let's say the first customer comes in with a 15 rupee coin. Let's take the base cases first. Let's say the customer comes in with a directly a 10 rupee coin or a 15 rupee coin. Okay, okay, let's say the customer comes in with this coin, only a 10 rupee coin. Since we have 0 coins over here, so chef will not be able to accept this. Now let's say in a second scenario, this is completely second scenario. Let's say the customer comes in with a 15 rupee coin. Again chef has 0 coins because he cannot return the remaining denomination of 10. Alright, so now these two cases, I mean, in these two scenarios we cannot return the denomination. Now let's say this is a scenario. I'm taking a very random. Let's say 5, let's say 10, let's say again a 10, let's say 15. Now let's check whether this is a permissible condition or not. I mean, this all customers can be fed with their all customers can be returned back chain, and then we need to print here. So let's say whether all customers will get their change or not. All right, so let's go and check. First customer comes in with a 5 rupee coin, and since the cost of the ice cream is 5, so so the chef will take this coin. Chef will first check if this is this coin, what is the denomination of this coin. Now since this is exactly equal to the cost of the ice cream, so the chef can take this coin and give him the ice cream. So the number of ice creams, I mean number of coins of 5 we have is 1. Moving on to the 10 rupee coin. Now what will happen in this case is, now the chef will check whether if he takes this 10, the remaining amount that he would be having is 5. Can he repay this 5? If yes, then only he will accept his coin. So he can now check whether he has a 5, whether he has a 5 denomination that he can make from either of the coins. So yes, 5 can be made because we can check that in any of these three we have 1 5 over here. So now what chef will do? Chef will at first what chef will do is chef will accept this 10 rupee coin. So now we have a 110 rupee coin and give back the denomination to him. So now we have 0 5 coins, 110 coin, and again a 0 of 15 coins. Now again chef comes and someone comes with a 10 rupee coin, but we can see over here that it's not possible to return the remaining amount after deducting the ice cream cost, because he has a 5 rupee denomination that he needs to return. So he must have a 5 rupee coin, which is not there. So this is again a not valid case, or in this case also chef won't be able to all the customers in the queue won't be able to get. So the answer would be no. Now let's take another good example. Let's say we have 5, we have a 10, we again have a 5, we again have a 5, now we have a 15, now we have a 10, now we have a 5, now we have a 10. Let's check whether this is accessible or not. I just put random numbers over here. So the algorithm which I am trying to demonstrate is very simple, and we will do exactly what we are doing and telling over here. So now first I will check whether this cost, I don't know this cost, let this be taken in an array, let this all be an array. Okay, so let this be a of I. Okay, so if this a of I, this is 0 instead, so Let this all be an array. So this particular element a of I will first check if this is equal to the cost of the ice cream. Yes, because the ice cream cost is 5, so chef will do nothing. He'll just take this coin here. So we have a 1 5 coin. Moving on to the next customer, he comes with a 10 rupee coin. So chef can, I mean, the remaining amount that we would be having is chef figured out the amount to be 5. Okay, and now chef checks whether this 5 can be paid back to the customer or not. Yes, this 5 can be paid with the help of one 5 rupee coin. So chef will now, what he will do is he will first what he will do is he will first return back the coin and then give it back to the customer, and this is what we are going to do in our code also. So the chef, what he does is he gives him the ice cream. He now knows whether this 5, he now knows that he has a 5 rupee coin over here. I mean, the remaining denomination is 5 over here. So what he will do is he will give back the customer the 5 rupee coin. Now the remaining amount is 0, and he will take this 110 coin. Now again chef comes with a 5 rupee coin. So this can be taken, and the chef will give the person the ice cream and this 5 also. So how much do we have now? We have two 5 coins. Okay, and we also have 110 coin. Now chef comes with a 15 rupee coin. Okay, now no, not chef, but a customer comes in with a 15 rupee coin. So now what we are going to do in this scenario is, the first thing chef will do is chef will check whether what is the remaining amount. So the remaining amount over here in this case is 15. It was 15. If we remove the cost of the ice cream, which is 5, we have a 10 amount that needs to be repaid. So that can be paid in again two ways, either by two 5 coins or by a 110 coin. So the first chef, what he will do is he first check the greater amount, if there is any 10 coin available or not. If there is a 10 coin available, then he will repay, then he will take the coin and then he'll repay the remaining amount, or else he will take the second option. So first chef will check for this 110 coin if it is there or not. Yes, we have a 110 coin, so now we have 0 10 coins over here. Chef has repaid the customer, and now we have 115 coin over here. Okay, cool. But do we really need this 15 coin or not? We can easily check that. I mean, there is no way we are going to need this 15 coin, because at every time you will have only 5, 10 and 15 denominations only, and if we have to reduce 5 because that is the cost, so that would be reduced to what, 0 5 and 10. So so we only need two coins, 5 and 10. That is what we need to keep track of, and 15 coin need not to be tracked. Okay. So moving ahead, now a customer comes in with a 10 coin. All right, so now we will check whether this what is the remaining amount. Chef will calculate the remaining amount to be 5 after deducting 5, which is the cost of the ice cream. Now can we pay this 5 in some way? Yes, we can do that because we have two 5. So now we have 1 5 coin. Chef repays the customer 1 5 coin, returns 5 change, and he keeps this 10 coin. So we have 1 5 and 110 now. Now chef again come now again a customer comes in with a 5 coin, so we'll again remove this 5 coin, and we'll now have our two 5 coins over here. Now again someone comes in with a 10 coin, so yes, chef is still having two 5 coins and one 10 coin. So we'll first check for 10, the greater one. No, chef comes with a 10 coin, so we'll have the remaining amount to be 5. So we need to repay this 5. So yes, we have one coin, so chef repaid this and took this 10 coin, and now we have two coins, two 10 coins. Now again someone comes with a 10 coin, again the same thing over here. So what the chef will do now, the remaining amount is 5, he'll repay this with a 5. Okay, and chef will accept this 10 coin, and now we have three coins over here. Now if a person comes in with a 10 coin, and then the chef will be having a 5 coin that needs to be repaid, but since he does not have any coins, so now what will happen is chef won't be able to pay. Now this was true until here, this was true up until the initial case which we took, but now after that, if we try to take another coin, since the number of coins is 0 5 coins is 0, so chef won't be able to take up that coin and give the ice cream person ice cream. So I guess the solution is more or less clear. Now we will code it in a very similar way. So as I was telling you all that this question is very easy. The only thing that we need to do was take a pen, paper and figure out the entire cases and the entire scenario. So let's jump to the solution, and as I was discussing you the solution, discussing solution, we will code it in exactly in the same way. So let's code it. Okay, I forgot to open the Eclipse. I forgot to open my Eclipse, that is where I was coding. Alright, so just hold on guys, I'll just open the Eclipse and there we will code. So CodeChef problems, I mean the first 3-4 problems are not very difficult, but these are very analytical problems. I mean mostly CodeChef has reduced the problem level to analytical level because you just need to analyze the scenario. You do not have to exactly do what they are asking. You just have to analyze and figure out a way of solving, because in most scenarios what I have figured out is that is the thing that was happening. Even the first two questions were very easy, and the remaining questions were not all were hard. The last two was a bit difficult, but the from third to last two onwards, the question is still medium, and we can still solve it. And I would be posting the solution to those problems as well in this series. So let's move on to the coding part. And meanwhile, this is my solution which I wrote it on 11th, and here also I have done the very same thing, and now here also I'll write the exact same code. Now what I do is I code on Eclipse, and then I put this go to the submit button, and this is in non-IDE mode, and there I paste the solution. So many of you doing in IDE mode where you need to put a try catch block. So switch to this IDE non-IDE mode, and there all you need to do is get your question from here, I mean your solution from here. So let's solve the question now. Okay, this is a bit laggy. Cool, so let's code. Okay. Scanner system dot in and n is equal to in dot next int. Okay, we need to add first t, because we had test cases. All right, so moving ahead. At first we will take input in dot next n will declare an array. Now we will take all the inputs. Array of I is equal to n dot next int. So we have all the customers with their denominations over here. Now we need variables to store the count of the coins. We have f is equal to 0 for 5, t equal to 0 for 10, and ft for 15. All right, so let's move ahead. And another loop, int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, we have a t over here there also in the button, so we'll put it to 10, and int over here. Now the first thing that we need to do is first we need to check whether the current element array I is 5 or not, because if it is, we do not need to do anything. We'll simply increase the count of the number of coins in 5. All right, now if it is not 5, then we need to think what could be the scenario. Now if it is not 5, the remaining amount would be array I. Obviously it would be greater than 5, so we do not need to worry about cases. We need to deduct the amount of the cost of the ice cream, which is 5. So int remaining is equal to array I minus 5. Okay, so what we need to do is, now we will check how many coins do we have based upon the remaining amount, and whether these coins are available or not. All right, so that we have the remaining coins. Now we'll check. See, uh, we have again two cases over here. The remaining amount can either be 5 or 10, because the denomination is fixed to 5, 10 and 15. If we take 5, we will not be going in this part, but if we have 10, then we having remainder as 5. And if the coin is 15 and we subtract 5, then we have a 10. So we have the two cases that would be, so the remainder would be either only 5 or 0. So if the remainder is 5, then we need to check, then we need to do something, I mean, then we will calculate. Or else the remainder is 10. So if the remainder is 5, what we need to do is, we need to check either we have a 5 coin or not. So, and that is stored in a variable f. So if f is greater than 0, we'll simply reduce f, because we want to remove the we want to return the change. So we return 1 5 coin. But in case we do not have any 5 coin, then this is not a good scenario. So we'll put flag equal to false over here, and we will break out of the loop. Because if the chef is unable to return a change to even a single customer, then in that case also the answer would be no. So boolean flag is equal to false. Okay, so we handled 5. Now we'll handle 10. Now what to do with this 10 part? Okay, if we have a 10, we have again two ways to handle 10. Now if we will first check for a greater denomination, if 10 is greater than 0 or not. If yes, we have a 10 coin, then we'll reduce that 10 coin. All right, but in case we do not have the 10 coin, we'll then check whether we have 5 coins or not. So if f is greater than equal to 2, which means we have either, I mean, if we could not return 1 10 coin, then we can check for 5 coins. So if f is greater than equal to 2, I mean, there are at least 5 coins, then what we will do is, we will reduce f by 2, because we want to return the 5 coins by and the summation of that would be 10. So we will reduce that. All right, I guess we are done now. And in case neither of these conditions are met, which means we do not even have a single 10 coin, or neither do we have a 2 5, neither do we have 5 coins, then in that case our flag will be false, and we will break out of the loop, which means chef won't be able to pay to the customer. So I guess the solution is more or less done. Okay, one thing more we need to do. Now that thing is, we never took the coin in this case, right? So chef figures out that yes, he can return the coins. So after figuring that out, if he's unable to do so, he won't be able to process, and the answer would be no. But if he does, what we will do now is that we will increase the count of the coins. Because because this clearly indicates that chef is able to, now if the condition comes into this part, like nowhere we are breaking out of the loop in the above cases, so we'll accept the coin that chef would be giving. So I mean, we already checked for 5, but we did not check for 10. So if array I is equal to 10, what we would do is, we would increase the number of 10 coins in plus plus. And if array I is equal to 15, we would increase ft plus plus. It was ft, no, it was f. So 15 plus plus. Okay, and we are done. So before we end this test case, we need to check if the flag is true. If yes, then system.out. Okay, system.out.println yes. Okay, capitals yes, else no. So I guess we have done with the solution, and one thing we need to note that why I have done this part here, like I would have checked for the area equal to 10 or 15 in the upper part also, but that would not give me a correct answer, because chef can only do this once. I mean, chef will only accept the coin when he can return the change. But if he is unable to return the change, and then we are checking, and then we will do this 10 plus plus and f plus plus, so what would this lead to is chef has taken the coin from the customer and is returning the same thing to the customer. Okay, so then that would not be correct. So we need to do this part after chef has figured out that yes, he can return that coin. So if chef is able to return that coin or return the change, then only we can, then only, I mean, after that only we will increase the count of the coins whatever the customer is giving. Because if we do this earlier over here, then what will happen is this 10 and f plus plus will be increased. Let's say we have a 10 rupee coin over here and chef has a 5 rupee coin over here, and if we simply check if area equal to 10, then we do 10 plus plus over here, then that would not yield us a correct answer, because what we are doing over there is we are simply accepting the same coin from the customer and returning the same thing even if we have nothing. So first we need to figure out that whether we can do a return back the change or not, and that is what we do in real life. We first check whether we can return the amount, remaining amount, to the person or not, because only then we can accept the amount, or else why would the person give me the amount in the first case. So let's check for the cases. So I am giving only one test cases. I am giving 5. I am putting random numbers: 5, 10, 5, 5, 10, 5, 15. So the answer is no. Let's check. Yeah, this 5 will go to the number of coins. Out of this 10 we'll have a 5. Yes, 5, 5. So we have 1 5 here. Now that was gone in 10. We have 1 10, 2 5. 10 was gone. We have 2 5. Yeah, so okay, so that should be true, I guess, here. So let me check with the actual solution. I mean the actual test cases that we have. Okay, so they should not yield me a wrong answer over here. Okay, it's no, no, no. And why is it so? Let me check over here. Something is wrong, maybe. If area is equal to 5, yes, the area is equal to 5. Increase the coins, the coins of 5. Then we check for the remainder amount. Area I minus 5. If remainder was 5, check if f is greater than 0. F minus minus. Okay, correct. Flag was false. Okay, I guess the flag would be true over here. Yes, flag will be true in the starting. Yeah, we are assuming that, and in case we are finding some case where we are not able to return, then that is true. I guess that is the reason why we are getting no, no, no. So check. Okay, yes, yes, no, no. I guess that is the solution. Yes, no, okay. So we will now copy this, and now in CodeChef what we do is we submit. I have switched to non-ID mode, so let me switch to ID mode and show you. This is the ID mode, but here when you are coding you need to add a try catch block. So why do that? So I simply switch to non-ID mode. I paste the solution, but one thing you need to take care is we need to remove this public from here class, and then we submit. Let's check. It's running. It's partially correct. I guess we have one more solution to deal with. So let's check that part also. Something is wrong. Which part is wrong? It's equal to f minus 2. Okay. Okay. If remainder is equal to 5, we can return that by a 5 coin. Or else if 10 was greater than 0, 10, we have to reduce that 10 minus 2. So we need to add a condition. So should I add it? remainder is equal to 10. I don't think that would make any scenarios true. Array I equal to 10, 10 plus plus, array I equal to 15, f. Okay, okay, okay. It's ft plus plus because we are taking 15 in ft. Yeah, I got it. That is why the problem was here. We are changing here f, but we have taken 15 to be ft. No, no, we need 5 only over here. It's correct. So here was ft. I guess I did a small change over here. I wrote f over here. So let's check again. This was my solution which I did earlier. I guess I have done the same thing, exactly the same thing I'm doing now also. Okay, let me check. Yeah, I have written f over here, so we'll replace that with ft. And I guess now we are good to go. Okay, so we have a correct answer over here. You can see. So this was a solution. In case you still have any doubt, feel free to comment. And thank you all for watching. Thank you.